Okay guys, so we're looking at some attacks here no gi in the closed guard. And because I don't have lapels and it's hard to break my partner's posture down, you really have to be good at sitting up and attacking your partner without the gi. And by sitting up and attacking your partner, you're going to open up a lot of attacks. You're going to open up opportunities for guillotine chokes and triangles and omoplatas. So we're going to use his response to set up my offense here. So we're in a closed guard and my partner is sitting back and he's giving me space. Okay, and I'm having trouble sitting up and bringing my partner down, so I'm going to come up and get him. Okay, so really important is your hip angle. I want to keep my legs locked and turn my hip so that I can bring my right arm behind me. Okay, you'll notice when I bring my right arm behind me, it's easier for me now when I'm perpendicular to start sitting up and bringing my right hand with me so I can get up and over my partner. Okay, also it's hard for your partner to push you down when you're perpendicular. Okay, if I was opening my chest up, Greg could use his opposite hand, his left arm, and he could push my shoulder down pretty easily. Okay, so when I turn my hip, I'm going to bring my hand behind me, and then I'm going to turn so that I'm perpendicular. Okay, at that point I'm going to rotate so that my fingers are pointing back, and I'm going to pull myself up, and I use my armpit over my partner's shoulder, almost like I'm grabbing his belt from behind. Okay guys, so once you get up here on this up and over sweep, I use my foot and I start elevating my hips. My partner starts lowering his level. Okay, now the important part of hitting this guillotine transition is I want to keep my hips up. So my left leg keeps my hips up. My right arm keeps me from falling back. My left elbow starts to come inside to attack the neck, and I need to throw my hips back. So I really need to keep my hips up and then sit back. And notice how I sit back, I tuck my elbow and I put my chin right here in the middle of his back. Okay? While leaning forward, it's difficult now for my partner to push me back because my head is in front of my hips. It's also a lot easier for me to tuck my elbow and grab onto the guillotine choke with my opposite hand. And I want to grab a pinky to pinky choke here. Okay? So I can lock straight on the neck, or I can go inside in the armpit. Okay, now straight on the neck is a little bit stronger, but sometimes there's not enough space to get that in there, and I'm just going to have to reach around the armpit. Either way, the finish looks pretty similar. So first, if I come straight on the neck, I'm going to allow my wrist to bend here. So when I catch the grip, I bend my right wrist slightly, and that'll allow me to bring my elbow up. Okay, I bring the elbow up, making it a little bit more difficult for my partner to escape here. Now I'm going to put my opposite leg over. When I sit, I bring my hips up for the choke. From the same position, it's a little tighter now. I'm going to come inside the armpit, and notice how my left elbow gets pulled into my side. Okay, it's a real important detail. I don't want my elbow to be flying from the outside. I lose a lot of the pressure of the choke is by bringing my elbows in. And elbows in is a real popular concept in jiu-jitsu, and we always use that. You're much stronger when you lock your elbows in. Okay, from this position, I'm going to lean onto my partner's head here, so I'm falling to my left. My opposite leg hooks the hip. I lock my closed guard again, and then I do not disconnect on the way back. So here's what I want to do. I keep my head up, and then I fold my elbows under. Okay, and it's hard to see because there's not much motion, because that's how tight it is. It's this motion. I'm bringing my partner's head between his legs. Okay, like I said, any submission that's done properly, there's not a lot of motion. Okay, an example of what not to do is you don't want to lean back and disconnect and shoot your hips up. Okay, so that's what this would look like. If I leaned back here and I brought my hips up, the head slips out. Okay, so if you're noticing on a lot of your guillotines, the guy's head slipping out is because you're not staying connected. You're letting your head fall back. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my head forward here, my chin on the chest. I lock it in tight, and see how I stay connected here. Okay, much tighter choke. Okay guys, so let's look at a close-up of what the hands are going to do on these two guillotine options. So first, if I can get in front of the shoulder here, so there's space and I can get my hand in front of the shoulder, I'm going to lock palm to palm. And the way I want to lock my palms is I'm going to go pinky to pinky, but I'm not going to put this hand deep. I'm going to grab this pad here in my hand so that I have the flexibility to bend my wrist and I can bring my elbow up like so. Okay, so this is the grip. I catch here, so I'm able to bend my wrist and bring my elbow up. So you can see when I catch how I can bring my elbow up over the top of the guy's neck. Okay, this is going to allow me to isolate and put a lot of pressure on the neck, and also use this torque motion in my body to finish the choke. Okay, it's a little bit newer way that people are doing these guillotine chokes. The other option, if it's really tight and I can't get my right hand in there, is to connect, and this would be an arm-in guillotine. Okay, for this one, it's more important that my left elbow stays very tight here to my body, and that when I fall at that angle, I keep my upper body really tight, and then it's this rotation of my torso that's actually going to finish the move. And that's a really important thing to think about. It's always your torso that's going to finish the guillotine. My legs hold him down, and my torso applies the finish.